Welcome to Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. An Online Trading Academy is an educator, an academy that trains people how to trade and invest during their working years and during retirement. So that'll be income accounts or those retirement accounts, IRAs and 401ks. And we have investing classes that we have a lot of people texting into and calling into to receive 2 seats for this class to learn more about these financial markets, how they work, and how to make smarter investing decisions. So all you got to do is text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for this class, or you can call 888-682-6466. So, Al, we got to talk about in the last segment of these other assets for retirement accounts, retirement strategies. But I think we need to continue that discussion because that's a big topic these days. People are trying to retire.
Sure.
They don't have enough to retire, so they're quote-unquote working longer, and they're not reaching those golden years that they're searching for and they work so hard for. I mean, think about somebody that you know that experienced 2008. Somebody that experienced 2008, and they were planning to retire at that time, and they either had to, continue to work longer, or B, have a second job or go back to work after they retired. And I think that's what happened to a lot of people here this past year. They had the great, what they call it, the great resignation, which we'll talk about conditioning there in a minute. But those people that resigned and quit and retired early, now they're going back because those 401ks and IRAs have not, it's not cutting it for them. So they have to go back to work. So where I'm getting at is we're seeing these conditions right now. We're seeing these markets go down. Markets are down roughly 20, 25%, depending on what you look at. Most stocks are down huge. So if you own stocks, you probably have a big loss in your portfolio this year. So why don't you continue that discussion, Al, about these retirement strategies, protecting what you have, because that's the best way to grow it.
And that's not just when you're retired. That's when you start investing. If you're in your 20s and you're starting to put together an investment portfolio or retirement portfolio, risk management is key. It's how much you keep that's important, not how much you make. And we see this all the time where people come in and say, I had this great trade, it was up like 200, 300, 400%. And, I just didn't get out of it at the right time and I lost that. And they ask yourself this, if you're in the market, have you ever had a profit taken away from you? Have you ever lost a profit? And almost everybody out there has to be honest and say yes if you've been in the market. And one of the reasons is because people don't know how to identify a proper target, a proper profit target. No matter whether you are short-term trading or long-term investing, there's 2 exits to every trade. One is an exit if you're wrong, so you minimize any potential loss. And the other is an exit if you're right, how to protect that profit. Most people, I think that's probably the biggest loss that most people have is not protecting a profit. They either get out too soon and don't realize the full potential, or they get out too late and have the profit taken away from them. But the education is there. It is never too late, as Josh had mentioned, to be able to do this. The potential in the markets is significant. The financial markets are the greatest thing ever that's available to everybody to participate in. But that's also the worst thing, is that it's available to everybody to participate in, because if you don't know what you're doing, you probably aren't going to do well.
Not necessarily that, Al. It's easy to get into, which means they have all these apps and all these things that are pumping it up on TV and news and stuff like that.
Sure.
It's so easy to get in the market, and where you're going with that, they do that without the skills and education.
Well, that's exactly right. The education is available, and it's not just knowledge, by the way. There's all sorts of sources of knowledge out there, but the important thing is knowing how to use that knowledge. When do you use it? How do you use it properly? That's skill building. That's part of a proper education, and that's really where I think the Online Trading Academy excels, is helping to build the skills to use the knowledge that they provide. Everybody out there at some point in time is going to be retired, and you're going to need something to rely on for maybe 20, 30, 40 years after you retire. And I know that it's hard when you're just starting out, when you're in your 20s, to think about retirement, but that's really the time to start. But if you didn't, and you find yourself in retirement, and you find yourself a little short of where you want to be, what do? Well, we've seen the market take some of your retirement account money away from you this year. So how do you recoup that properly and not just kind of in a mediocre, average way. Our goal for our students is not to just be average, but to excel. And there are assets you can use and strategies you can use that give you the potential to have much better returns, a much greater rate of return, again, along with that risk management. Northwest Mutual did a study, and they found the average retirement savings account now dropped in 2022 from $73,000 to $62,000. That's not a lot of money, and the reality is that people that are 65 or older spend about $46,000 a year. So if your retirement account is, $60,000 and you're spending $40,000, it doesn't look like a great future. But there are ways of making sure that you can generate income. Kind of look at the markets as a big ATM machine with trillions of dollars in it that people can access if they know the right strategies to do that. So don't let yourself become one of the statistics that's part of that retirement crisis. Let's help you to rebuild, to build what you have, to protect what you have, and help you to achieve that retirement dream that you have.
Yeah, and it all starts with a plan and a strategy to do that. And a goal without a plan is just a wish. That's why we have these investing classes, to introduce you to these concepts so you can create this plan and steps within that. And that's what Online Trading Academy does. They have steps to reach the opportunities that you're looking for, to have more choices during those retirement years. So if you want to learn more about that, come to one of these investing classes. Al teaches these classes, and we have a lot of fun in these classes talking about how the market works, how your retirement plan works, and how to make smart investing decisions within them. So text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for that class. Investing to the number 210. You mentioned the word knowledge, Al. And I like to golf, and when I first started golfing, I was reading all these articles and these newsletters about golf, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm getting pretty good. I'm getting pretty smart about golf. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna start swinging away, and I'm gonna probably have a couple hole-in-ones and par most holes and probably be under par for the day.
Maybe go on the pro circuit.
Exactly. Well, so I went golfing, and that wasn't the case.
It's a very humbling game.
It is very humbling, but I was kind of thinking about that for a second. As you were talking about knowledge, people think they get knowledge in the financial markets. That doesn't help you actually do it. You can read all these books, you can watch all these news channels and read all these newsletters, and is the information going to help you, or is it just entertainment? And that's what the public, everybody out there is conditioned to do, is to do all this research, newsletters, all that junk that's out there, and think they have a skill now. That's a totally different thing. Al, I want you to inspire people in about 1 minute on why you need to learn a strategy instead of knowledge.
Well, a strategy is actually using the knowledge that you have. And again, knowledge is of no value unless you know how to use it, when to use it, you have the skills to do that. And that's really what we do. And part of that, you mentioned golf. You could read all the books out there about golf or look at all sorts of videos, but until you actually get out and you start swinging clubs, you're not really going to learn.
Yeah. So you know what I did, Al? I went and got a coach.
You took a lesson.
I took some lessons.
Exactly. That's how you learn how to golf properly. And the same thing is true in investing and trading. How do we do that? How do we coach you? Well, we have specialists that are available in our centers that will work with you one-on-one and help you. It's sort of like teaching you how to swing a golf club, how to use the right club at the right time. And that's how you learn. You learn by doing something, but you learn by doing it with somebody who can guide you, make sure you're doing things right. The way you develop a habit is to repeat things. Well, you can develop a bad habit by repeating the wrong things. So the key to being successful as a trader investor is repeating the things that work. And you learn how to do that by being hands-on. Come into a classroom and sit down and do this with somebody who is a professional or somebody who does this full time, who has gone through the trials and errors so you don't have to. That's the way to that's really being smart, is utilizing somebody else's experience and somebody else's knowledge so you can kind of cut down on the amount of time it takes you to get to the point where you can be successful.
Yeah, I like that. And that's why we have these free investing classes for people to come in and be introduced to these techniques and concepts and just see what's actually out there. If you're new to the market, that's perfect. Learn how to do it from the bottom up. If you've been trading for many years and looking for consistency, that's also perfect. Come in one of these classes and see what these concepts are. Who knows? It might be something new you learn, and we might part friends, and that'd be the great thing.
Sure.
Is we meet a lot of great people that come to these classes. One last giveaway for the free investing class. Text the word investing to the number 210-210. That's text investing to the number 210-210 right now. Al, hit them up with the words of wisdom.
Well, if we want to be successful, we have to stop telling ourselves we can't do something. When we do that, we start believing it, and then we make that our reality. So remember, no one can go back and make a new start, but anyone can start now and make a new ending. Proper knowledge and a positive attitude are a powerful combination that can help you achieve your dream ending.
I really like that, and so many people are afraid that they can't go do something. Don't focus on what will go wrong. Focus on what will go right. And that's the key in the financial markets. That's the key to building longevity with your financial accounts, to have more choices in your future. And we have these investing classes. Let's start focusing on what can go right. You can simply text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats. You're going to get a text back and a call to make sure we get the day that works best for you during the day or during the week or on the weekends. But we also have these on the evenings so anybody can attend. Text the word investing to the number 210 right now for those seats. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.